A few weeks ago, Infosys was fined in France over issues related to monitoring employees' working hours. And somehow that took us back to the time when there was a whole lot of debate going around Narayan Murthy sir's statement about how an Indian should be working 70 hours a week in order to India become a productive and developed nation. Well, I'm not here to discuss whether Narayan Murthy sir was right or wrong. I am here to dive into a little bit deeper question. That does working for longer hours actually means for being productive? Hey, I'm Alka and welcome to Alka After Us. The timing of this video is quite interesting because I was just having my exams in which one of the syllabus had corporate governance. While I was studying how corporate governance developed in India, I came across something that made this video quite little interesting. In 2003, SEBI constituted Narayan Murthy Committee on Corporate Governance. The committee looked at things like independent directors, audit committees, financial disclosures, accountability, transparency, and risk management. Its recommendations went on to influence the strengthening of Clause 49 and corporate governance requirement for listed companies. Basically, the idea was simple. How do we make companies more accountable, transparent, and responsible? It made me wonder if we are so concerned about building responsible and sustainable organizations, why do we still measure someone's commitment by how many hours they spend working? Because somewhere along the line, we have absolutely confused with the time spent at work with the work actually being done. You come to office at 9, you leave at 9. You answer emails by midnight, and you also worked on Sundays. Congratulations, you're productive. But are you? Because research doesn't really support this very simple equation of more hours equal to more productivity. The WHO and ILO, for example, found that working 55 or more hours per week is associated with higher risk of heart diseases and heart stroke. And productivity itself is not measured by how long you're sitting at your desk. The OECD defines labor productivity in terms of value produced per hour you work. In its latest data, it shows countries such as Norway and Denmark among the OECD's most productive economies per hour. So if I spent 12 hours doing something that could have been done in 8 hours, did I really work hard? Was I productive? Or did I just take a few extra hours in order to achieve the same result? And this becomes even more important when we are talking about people whose job depend on thinking. Technology, HR, finance, consulting, research, management, and more. Your brain doesn't become a better machine just because you cross a 10-hour or 12-hour mark line. At some point, your concentration drops, your creativity drops, your patience drops, your chances of making mistakes goes high, and eventually you are not solving the problem anymore. You are just staring at it and hoping it develops a solution out of pity. And this is where I think the whole idea of work-life balance gets misunderstood. People work to have a life. We have to get it right. People work to get a life, have a life. They work to pay their bills, support their families, build a home, travel, spend time with their loved ones, pursue their interests, basically to create a life that is worth working for. For a founder, the company may genuinely be their whole life, like their work and their life. And if somebody chooses to work 70 hours because they are building something they deeply care about, that belongs to them. It is their choice. It is a good thing. But an employee is not the owner of the company. They are the owner of their own life. This distinction matters because when a company asks for 12 hours of your day, it's not only asking for 12 hours of labor. It's asking for the time that could have belonged to you, your family, your health, your friend, your hobbies, and simply yourself. And I'm not saying that people should not work hard. Obviously, they should. Ambition matters, discipline matters, hard work matters. But there is a difference between working hard and making overwork the definition of a good employee. Because if we genuinely want a productive organization, perhaps the question shouldn't be how many hours can we get from this employee. Maybe it should be how much value can this person create when they are motivated, healthy, respected, actually have the energy to think. That isn't anti-work. That is called pro-productivity. Because a good workplace isn't one where people are constantly counting the hours until they can leave. It's one where people can do good work, grow, collaborate, and still have a life that is waiting for them when they get off, when they log off. So maybe the future of work shouldn't be about asking how long you can work. Maybe it should be how well you can work. Because we don't need people who are simply present at 12 hours a work. We need people who are present when it matters. And there is a very clear difference between them. So I think it's high time that the company should be coming up with a structure, a system where people can do their work, be more productive without needing to sacrifice their whole life around it. A structure that allows them to be creative without being overworked, overburdened. Because at the end of the day, a company is built by the people, the person working there. And if a system needs people to sacrifice their entire life just to prove a point that they are hard work, maybe we should stop measuring commitment in hours and start measuring it in outcomes. That's all. Thank you. See you in the next one.